Okay, so hello, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good night, or whenever you are watching this video. First of all, my name is Ghina Maysya Ayu. So by this video, I would like to bring you guys to a very short discussion about some topics that we're actually have talked about it before. So here it is, the project-based learning. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of discussion for today. So here are the things or the topic that we're going to discuss about today. We have four submaterials or four topics here. We have some tenses and also some degree of comparison. The first, we have simple present tense. Second, we have simple past tense. The third one, we have simple future tense. And last but not least, we have degree of comparison. All right, so before we hop on to the first, second, third, or maybe the fourth material, I would like to tell you the reason why I choose these four topics for my project-based learning, or maybe for our topic for our today's discussion, okay? So the reason why I choose this topic is because these four topics are very basic materials in English. So this thing is actually is a very common thing to find many implementations of these four topics in our everyday life. So these four topics, simple present tense, future, past, or even degree of comparison. Those are just the most common topics I know in our daily life implementation. Okay, so that's the reason why I choose this topic. Next, we also have some goals, or we at least can gain few things by today's discussion. So, first, I hope that students, all of us, can distinguish the types of tenses. In this case, we have simple present, past, and future. And the second goal is I hope that we can distinguish each types of degree of comparison, positive, comparative, or even superlative. And last but not least, I hope that we can use a proper tenses in our daily life implementations, ladies and gentlemen. So, without any further ado, maybe this is time for us to start into the first topic or the first material for today, which is simple present tense. Okay, I believe all of you guys have heard about simple present tense very, very often. Okay, so what is simple present tense? Simple present tense is a type of tenses which use to describe first habits, general truth, repeated actions, and etc. Second, instructions or directions. Third, fixed arrangements, present or future. And the last one, express future time after some conjunction. So basically, simple present tense is the very basic type of tenses we like to find. So it have a simple present tense describes some things like habits, repeated actions, some facts, something that are likely to happen very often. Okay, so that's the point, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's hop on to the formulas of simple present. How can we actually use simple present in a sentence? So in this case, we have two types of formula. The first one is the nominal, the second one is the verbal. So as you can see on my PowerPoint here, I've already have two types of formulas of simple present. Let's talk about the nominal first. In nominal, we have the positive one, we have subject plus to be plus complement. And then the negative, we have subject plus to be plus not plus complement. And for the integrative, we have to be, subject, and complement. Okay. So just a very basic form of how tenses are used to be, positive, the negative, and the interrogative. Now let's hop on to the verbal simple present formula. So seems like the nominal, we also have the positive, negative, and interrogative here, but the difference is maybe the structure of the sentences. So as you can see, for the verbal, the positive, we have subject plus verb one plus s or es in the end of the verb, and then we have the complement. For the negative, we have subject plus do or does, not plus verb 1 without S or ES and plus complement. And for the integrative, we have do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus complement. And don't forget the question mark. Okay? So to help you guys more understand about this topic, I already have some examples for the nominal and the verbal simple present. So for the nominal, as you can see, I have a very simple example here. She is a student of Stanford University. And for the negative, we have she is not a student of Stanford University. And then for the integrative, you just have to move the to be into the front of the sentence. So she, the to be of she is. So is she a student of Stanford University? Okay, so that was the nominal simple present. Now is the verbal simple present. Here we have Bella eats cupcake every day. Okay? And negative, we have Bella does not eat cupcake every day. And for the integrative, we have the does Bella eat cupcake every day? So if you can see by side and side, you can see actually they have a pretty similar structure or form. The difference is maybe of the type of verbs of the type of things they have in a sentence. So for the nominal, you don't have any verbs in it. And in verbal, you can add verbs or something to describe what is the subject do or does. Okay? So that's the difference between nominal and the verbal. Okay? Now, what simple present used for? Actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are a lot of things that simple present used for. In this case, I have four things to remember here. First one, habits, general truth, repeated actions, and etc. For example, on the left, on the screen, okay, we have I drink coffee every morning for the example of habits. And then for the general truth, maybe we have the moon is Earth's only natural satellite. And for the repeated actions here, I have an example of Miranda catch the bus every day. And same for the second function of simple present, we have instructions or directions. Here we have open the curtains when the morning comes. That's the instruction. Or maybe ring my doorbell once you're here already. The directions. And for the third one, we have fixed arrangement. One of the example we have here is meet me tomorrow at 8 a.m. in my classroom. And then for the uh express future time or after conjunction, we have I'll text you when the food is here. So the meaning of the express future time is actually to say something that will happen in the future, but still in simple present form. So when you want to talk about, hey, meet me tonight at blah 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 blah. So that is written in simple present form, but it will happen later on tonight. Do you get what I mean? Do you get it? Okay. So that is the express future time after some conjunction. So basically, it will happen in the future, but it's still written in simple present form. Okay, it's happened now, but it also can happen later on. Right, so maybe that's all about the simple present. Now let's hop onto the second material. We still have two more to go here. So let's just hop onto the second one, simple past tense. So if we already talk about simple present is something that are likely to happen in habitual thing, repeated actions, and any other thing. So simple past tense is something that happens in the past. So by the definition here, we have simple past tense is a type of tenses which used to talk about a complete action in a time before now. So it already happened in the past. The time of the action can be in the recent past or the distant past, and action duration is not that important. Okay. We also have the formulas of simple past here, the nominal and the verbal. Okay. For the nominal, the positive, we have subject plus to be, was, or were, and then we have complement. And for the negative, same, but the only thing you have to add is not after was or were. And for the integrative, we have to be, was or were, plus subject plus complement. Now for the verbal, we have three types of things here. First, we have the positive, subject plus verb to in second form, and then the complement. And for the negative, look at the negative, we have subject plus did, okay, did, plus not, plus verb one. So the verb goes back to the verb one form. And the last, we have the interrogative form, did plus subject plus verb one. And don't forget the question mark at the end of the sentence, okay? Talk about the example of simple past formula. The nominal, we have she was a very as the positive form. And then for the negative form, we have she was not a very. And for the integrative, we have was she a very. Now for the verbal simple past tense form. For the positive, we have I went to the dentist yesterday. And for the negative, we have I did not go to the dentist yesterday. And for the integrative, we have did I go to the dentist yesterday? Okay, so just as simple as that. You just have to rearrange the structure of the sentence, okay? So for the positive, you use the positive one. For the verbal, you can use the verb to of the verb. And for the negative, you can also add not plus did or was not. But the verb remains into the verb one form. And for the integrative, we have did or was in the front of the sentence, and the rest of the sentence written in verb one. Now let's talk about what simple past used for. So you can also use simple past when something happened. So it is associated with certain past time expressions. So here we have three types of past times expressions. For the first, we have the frequency. We have often, sometimes, always. For example, here we have always. She always brought her teddy bear. And for the second, we have definite point in time. Like last week, when I was a child, yesterday, or weeks ago. For example, here we arrived at Kuala Namu Airport last week. And then we also have when I was a child, I watched Dora the Explorer every day. I'm sorry. And for the third expressions, we have indefinite point in time. For example, the other day, ages ago, a long time ago. For example, here we have he talked to another girl on the other day. Or the second example, Inyuk played piano long time ago. Okay, so that is the function of simple past in three types of time expressions. Now, let's hop onto the simple future tense. Okay, so simple future tense. What is simple future tense? Simple future tense is a type of tense which use a time later than now. So it happens in the future, not now or not in the past, but in the future. Now for the formulas, we have a little bit different here. They don't have the nominal or the verbal, but here I'm going to distinguish the formula with each type: positive, negative, and interrogative. First, let's talk about the positive. The positive. we have talked about the positive form of simple present, and then we also have talked about the simple past. Now is the simple future. So here we have the first condition. We have subject plus will or shall plus verb one plus object. So that's the first form of the positive in future tense. Now, the other one, subject plus to be, is are, going to plus verb one. Okay, so in future tense, they have two ways of saying or express a future thing or something that is happening in the future. Now for the negative, we have subject plus will, shall, plus not, plus verb one, plus the object. And then the other one, we have subject plus to be, plus am is are, plus not, plus going to, plus verb one. Same goes with the interrogative. We have will or shall in the beginning, and then we have subject plus verb one plus object. And for the second one, we have to be, am is are, plus subject plus going to plus verb one. Now, what's simple future used for? We have four things to highlight here. The first is to predict future event. For example, it will rain tomorrow, or it will be cold tonight. The second, we have spontaneous decision. For example, I paid for you, or maybe I'll give you a ride then. That's the spontaneous decision. And the third one is for the willingness. She will show you the way. Or maybe I'll carry the bag for you. It's like what do we want to do to the person? Our willingness, okay? Our kindness, you can say. Now, the fourth one, to make an offer or suggestion. For example, here we have, shall we go to the cinema tonight? Or maybe, shall I turn on the air conditioner? That's the offer or suggestion. Right. Now, this is the time for us to come to the last topic for today. A little bit different from the three topics we spoke about earlier. So now is the degree of comparison. What is degree of comparison? Degree of comparison is a grammatical concept in English that describes how to compare one thing to another using adjective or adverbs. In degree of comparison, we have three branches. First, the positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. And what are those? First one, positive degree. Positive degree is describing an equal state between two objects. So, positive degree is describing something in equal state. Now, the comparative degree is comparing two objects in one sentence using an adjective. So, comparative degree is comparing two objects in sentence. So, one might be higher and one might be lower, like that. Now, the superlative, to show which one among the three or more objects has the most quality. So the highest, the biggest, the most powerful, the most quality they have among all of the options there. Now let's go to the verb ones. For the positive degree, we have subject plus to be plus as adjective, as complement. And then we also have the comparative one. We have subject plus to be plus adjective plus er plus complement. That's the first one. And the second form is subject plus to be plus more plus adjective and complement. And for the superlative, we have subject plus to be plus the plus adjective plus est plus complement. And then for the second form, we have subject plus to be plus the plus most plus adjective and the complement. Now here comes the example of the tree of degree of comparison here. Positive degree. My sister is as tall as I'm sorry. My sister is as tall as my mother. The second example is I am as beautiful as my mother. Now the comparative one. My cat is getting bigger now. Okay, so this time he or she is comparing the size of his or her cat now versus back then. So my cat is getting bigger now. Now the second is Peony is more mature than her older sister. So that was the comparative degree. Now let's talk about the superlative, the most. For example, here we have Wayne family is the wealthiest people in Gotham City. The wealthiest, the most people, the most rich people, the richest people, you can say. Now, the second example, we have Bridget is the most popular student in our school. Okay. Now, here is the difference between more mass versus ER plus or EST. Maybe you guys have seen about that. We have um wait, we have ER and EST here, and we also have more and most. What is the difference between four of them? So here is the difference, guys. More or most used for two-syllable adjective or three or even more syllable adjective. So that's for more and most. For example, here, beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. So that is the two syllables or three or even more syllables. Beautiful. What syllable? Three syllables. Beautiful. Now, ER or EST. Here we have I mean the requirements of ER or EST here is for one syllable adjective. For example, like big, tall, short. Here we have big, bigger, or biggest. Now the second requirement is the adjective must be end by Y, O, W, O, or even LE. For example, simple, simpler, or simplest, the very common one. Or maybe tiny, tinier, or tiniest, like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about four topics, right? Do you guys still remember about the things we've already discussed earlier? So, first we have talked about simple present tense, which is the type of tenses to describe habits, general truth, repeated actions, and etc. Can be also used for instruction, directions, fixed arrangement, and even express future time after some conjunction. And then we also talk about simple past tense, which are type of tenses we use to talk about some things in the past or something that already completed in a time before now. And the third one, we have simple future tense. Is a type of sentence which used to time later than now and express facts or certainty. And last but not least, we have talked about degrees of comparison, which is a grammatical concept in English that describes how to compare one thing to another using adjective or adverbs. In degrees of comparison, we have three things to remember: the positive degree, comparative, and superlative. The positive used to describe an equal state between two objects, so it's the equal one. The comparative one is for compare two objects in one sentence using an adjective. And the last one, the superlative, to show which one among three or more objects has the most quality. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all about our discussion for today. I hope it will help you a lot. I hope about the things we've already discussed today can give us more knowledge and more impact for us in the future. So, Thank you very much for your great, great, great attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.